Have you ever felt like, no matter what you achieve, it still doesn't feel like enough? You might be undervaluing yourself without even realizing it. In this video, we'll dive into Stoic principles and how Stoic philosophers have offered timeless wisdom to help us see our true worth. Unlike modern approaches, Stoicism teaches that real value isn't found in external success, but in mastering our thoughts, actions, and reactions. Today, I'll walk you through 11 key signs you're undervaluing yourself and show you how to apply Stoic philosophy to overcome these habits. It's not about living by rigid rules, but practical daily steps to align with your true self. Whether seeking more confidence or clarity, these lessons are designed for everyday life. If you're ready to stop settling and start living with purpose, you're in the right place. Let's start uncovering the true power of Stoicism and what it can do for your self-worth. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to help spread this timeless wisdom. Sign 1. You apologized too much. One of the clearest signs you're undervaluing yourself is constantly apologizing. Whether it's apologizing for something beyond your control or just for taking up space, this habit can reveal a lack of self-worth. You might not even notice it. Apologizing has become automatic, but each unnecessary sorry reflects how little credit you're giving yourself. In Stoicism, one of the key teachings is to focus on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, and responses. Apologizing for things outside of your control, like someone else's feelings or circumstances, is a waste of your energy. This is where the wisdom of Stoic philosophers comes in. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In other words, you can control your intentions and actions, but not everything around you. When we over-apologize, we are, in a way, seeking approval from others. We hope to make them feel better, but at the cost of our confidence. Instead, Stoicism teaches that real peace comes from valuing your own actions and staying true to your principles. You don't need external validation to prove your worth. So, what's the actionable solution here? Practice silence before speaking. When you feel the urge to apologize, pause and ask yourself, is this apology necessary? Have I done something truly wrong? If the answer is no, then skip the apology. Remember, apologizing for existing or for things outside your control only weakens your sense of self-worth. By practicing this small exercise daily, you'll not only reduce the number of unnecessary apologies, but also start valuing yourself more. This is about aligning with your values, which is a core aspect of Stoic philosophy. Stoicism encourages us to take ownership of our actions, to acknowledge mistakes when they happen, but not to apologize for things that aren't our responsibility. When you adopt this mindset, you'll find a new sense of freedom and inner peace. If this resonates with you, keep watching. There are 10 more signs we'll explore, and I guarantee you'll start seeing yourself and your worth differently. Sign 2. You overcommit to please others. Another sign you're undervaluing yourself is constantly saying yes to everyone, even when it comes at a personal cost. When you overcommit, you're signaling that other people's time and needs are more important than your own. This behavior, while it might seem noble, actually reflects a deep struggle with your self-worth. According to Stoic principles, we need to protect our energy and time. One of the greatest Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, reminds us that our time is limited, and wasting it on unnecessary obligations means we aren't focusing on what truly matters. He wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." When you overcommit, you're giving away your most valuable resource, your time, often to things that don't align with your priorities or values. The habit of overcommitting is usually driven by a desire to please others. We want to be liked, appreciated, or avoid conflict. But in reality, saying yes to everything spreads us too thin, leaving little energy for the things that matter most, like personal growth, rest, and our values. Stoicism teaches that we should live intentionally, focusing on what we can control and ensuring our actions reflect what we truly value. So how do you fix this habit? It starts with learning to say no more often, even when it feels uncomfortable. Recognize that saying no doesn't make you selfish or uncaring. It simply means you value your own time and priorities. When you protect your energy, you're better equipped to help others when it truly matters. Start by evaluating your commitments. Are they aligned with your core values and goals? If not, it's time to respectfully decline. Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of living according to our values, and that includes setting boundaries. You don't need to please everyone. You need to live in alignment with what matters most to you. If you struggle with saying no, remember this Stoic wisdom. It's not about being harsh, but about being honest. When you overcommit, you're not just draining yourself, you're also limiting your ability to live a meaningful, fulfilled life. Practice this small shift, and you'll notice a big change in how you value yourself. Sign 3. You avoid taking risks. Avoiding risks is another clear sign that you may be undervaluing yourself. When fear holds you back from trying something new, whether it's pursuing a career opportunity or speaking your mind, it often stems from a lack of belief in your capabilities. You might think, what if I fail? But according to Stoic principles, failure is not something to fear. It's a tool for growth. The Stoics taught the concept of amor fati, or the love of fate. This means embracing whatever happens, whether it's success or failure, with the knowledge that each outcome carries a lesson. In Stoic philosophy, every challenge is an opportunity to learn and improve. By avoiding risks, you deny yourself the chance to grow and evolve. Taking risks doesn't mean being reckless. It means stepping outside of your comfort zone and embracing the uncertainty of life. Stoicism reminds us that we don't have control over external events, but we do have control over how we respond to them. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." When you avoid taking risks, you're creating more fear and limiting your potential. So how can you apply Stoic philosophy to take more risks in your life? First, shift your mindset. Instead of seeing failure as something to avoid, view it as an inevitable part of growth. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? By reframing failure, you'll begin to see the value in every outcome, success or not. Next, take small steps out of your comfort zone. You don't have to leap into something huge right away. Start with something manageable. The key is to build the habit of taking action, even when it feels uncomfortable. Over time, you'll notice that what once seemed risky now feels like a natural part of your personal growth. When you stop avoiding risks, you'll start living in alignment with Stoic principles, embracing life's challenges and trusting yourself to handle whatever comes. Remember, the Stoics believed that true value lies in our ability to navigate life's uncertainties with wisdom and courage. Sign 4. You seek external validation constantly. Another sign that you're undervaluing yourself is constantly seeking validation from others. Whether it's looking for praise at work, approval from friends, or likes on social media, this habit reflects a deeper insecurity. When your self-worth depends on what others think, you're handing over control of your happiness. Stoicism teaches us that true value comes from within, not from external sources. One of the most important Stoic principles is the understanding that we can only control our actions, thoughts, and responses, not the opinions of others. Epictetus, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In other words, the judgments or opinions of others are beyond your control and should not dictate how you feel about yourself. When you constantly chase validation from others, you're living outside of your true self. Instead of focusing on your values and integrity, you're shaping your actions to fit others' expectations. This behavior leads to a sense of emptiness because you're basing your self-worth on things you can't control. The solution here is to practice self-reflection and gratitude. One of the core practices in Stoic philosophy is to regularly reflect on your actions and intentions. Ask yourself, am I doing this because it aligns with my values or because I want approval? By focusing on your internal motivations, you'll begin to see that external praise is fleeting and not a true measure of your worth. Gratitude is another powerful tool. Instead of seeking validation from others, practice gratitude for your efforts and growth. Every day, reflect on what you did well, no matter how small. Recognize the progress you've made and the virtues you've practiced, whether it's courage, discipline, or wisdom. By grounding your self-worth in Stoic philosophy, you'll begin to trust yourself more and rely less on external validation. You'll realize that your worth comes from living according to your principles, not from the opinions of others. So, stop chasing approval and start living with purpose. The more you internalize these Stoic principles, the more confident and resilient you'll become. Keep watching. There are more signs ahead to help you truly value yourself. Sign 5. You struggle to set boundaries. When you find it hard to set boundaries, it's another sign you may be undervaluing yourself. Whether it's at work, in relationships, or even with family, failing to establish clear limits often shows that you don't believe your needs are important enough. This constant self-sacrifice might feel like you're being helpful, but it's draining your energy and self-worth. Stoicism teaches us that personal sovereignty, our ability to govern ourselves, is crucial. According to the Stoics, we must protect what's within our control, and that includes our time and well-being. As Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, no one can harm you if you do not consent to be harmed. This idea emphasizes that we have the power to set boundaries and decide what we allow into our lives. When you struggle to set boundaries, you often allow others to dictate how you spend your time and energy. You might say yes to things you don't want to do, or let people overstep your limits because you're afraid of disappointing them. But Stoic philosophy encourages us to put our well-being first, without feeling guilty. So how do you apply Stoic principles to set better boundaries? First, start by recognizing your worth. Understand that your time and energy are valuable, and it's your responsibility to protect them. Next, practice saying no when something doesn't align with your values or needs. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but every time you set a boundary, you're reinforcing your self-worth. Stoics also teach the importance of detachment. When you set a boundary, you must be okay with how others react. Their disappointment or frustration is outside your control. Your job is to act according to your values and protect what's yours. By practicing this, you'll start to see that setting boundaries doesn't make you selfish. It makes you strong and in control of your life. Over time, you'll notice that when you set boundaries, people begin to respect you more, and you respect yourself more as well. You'll feel a sense of freedom that comes from living according to your principles, not out of obligation to others. So don't hesitate to start setting boundaries today. The more you practice, the easier it will become to live in alignment with Stoic philosophy and value yourself. Sign 6. You undervalue your achievements. Downplaying your accomplishments is a common sign that you're undervaluing yourself. Whether it's brushing off a compliment or thinking your achievements aren't a big deal, this behavior can reflect a deeper issue with self-worth. If you find yourself saying things like, "it was nothing," or attributing success to luck rather than your efforts, you're likely not giving yourself the credit you deserve. In Stoic philosophy, recognizing the virtues that lead to achievement is key. Stoic principles encourage us to be honest with ourselves, not just about our mistakes, but about our successes too. Marcus Aurelius, a well-known Stoic philosopher, reminds us that acknowledging our strengths is not about boasting, but about honoring the virtues, like courage, discipline, and wisdom, that brought us there. When you undervalue your achievements, you're failing to see the hard work and virtues that contributed to your success. This not only lowers your self-esteem, but also prevents you from building confidence for future challenges. Stoicism teaches us to reflect on our efforts and recognize the virtues we've practiced, whether it's taking a brave step, showing discipline in difficult times, or making a wise decision. So how can you apply Stoic principles to start valuing your achievements? First, make it a habit to reflect on your successes. Take a moment to think about what it took to get there. Did you practice patience, discipline, or courage? Write it down. Recognizing these virtues helps you see the bigger picture, and you'll realize your accomplishments are not just about the result, but about the character you've built along the way. Next, practice accepting compliments with gratitude. When someone acknowledges your work, resist the urge to deflect or downplay it. Instead, simply say, "Thank you." This small act will help you internalize the value of your efforts, and show that you respect yourself and your hard work. By valuing your achievements, you'll begin to develop a stronger sense of self-worth. You'll realize that your successes are not due to luck, but the result of your virtues and efforts. In Stoicism, this honest acknowledgement of your strength is vital to living a balanced and fulfilled life. So stop undervaluing what you've achieved. Start recognizing the virtues you've practiced and give yourself credit where it's due. Keep watching as we continue to explore more ways Stoic wisdom can help you value yourself in every area of life. Sign 7. You feel inadequate around others. Feeling inadequate or less than others is a sure sign you're undervaluing yourself. If you often find yourself comparing your achievements, appearance, or even your happiness to others and coming up short, you're likely struggling with self-worth. This habit of comparison is not only harmful but also pointless, according to Stoic philosophy. Stoicism teaches us that we should only compare ourselves to our progress. As Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" Instead of looking at others, focus on how you've grown, how you've responded to challenges, and how you can continue to improve. The Stoics believed that the path to fulfillment lies in staying true to your values and growth, not in measuring yourself against others. When you compare yourself to others, you're often comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. It's easy to look at someone's success and feel inadequate without understanding the struggles and challenges they may have faced. Stoic principles remind us that what truly matters is how we live our own lives, not how our lives stack up against others. So, how do you overcome these feelings of inadequacy using Stoic philosophy? First, practice mindfulness whenever you catch yourself comparing. When you feel that twinge of inadequacy, pause and ask yourself, am I focused on what's within my control? Am I being fair to myself? This simple shift in perspective can help you refocus on your growth and progress. Another strategy is to limit your exposure to environments or situations that trigger these comparisons. Whether it's social media, certain relationships, or competitive workspaces, sometimes taking a break from comparison triggers is the most practical step. The Stoics emphasize the importance of mental clarity and simplicity, so decluttering your mind from these influences can help you value yourself more. Lastly, focus on your journey. Set goals based on your values, not someone else's achievements. Stoic wisdom teaches us that true success is living in alignment with your principles, not in winning some imaginary race with others. When you make this shift, you'll find it easier to feel satisfied with where you are and who you are becoming. By letting go of comparison, you'll stop feeling inadequate and start seeing your worth. Remember, Stoicism is about focusing on your progress, not external benchmarks. Sign 8. You don't speak up for yourself. When you find it difficult to speak up for yourself, especially when it matters most, this is a strong indication that you're undervaluing yourself. Whether it's at work, in relationships, or everyday situations, staying silent when your voice is needed reflects a lack of belief in the importance of your perspective. Stoic philosophy teaches that justice is one of the 4 core virtues. Justice doesn't just apply to how we treat others, but also to how we treat ourselves. The Stoics believed in standing up for what is right, and that includes advocating for yourself. As Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This means taking action, especially when it comes to defending your rights, needs, and values. When you remain silent, you allow others to decide for you, often at your own expense. Failing to speak up for yourself can lead to feelings of resentment, frustration, and further undervaluation of your worth. Stoicism encourages us to live with integrity, which means aligning our actions with our values, and that includes using our voice when it's necessary. So how can you begin applying Stoic principles to speak up more for yourself? Start by recognizing that your voice matters. Just as Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, you have control over your words and how you express them. Practice assertiveness by starting with small situations. Speak up in low-stakes environments first, like in casual conversations or minor work discussions, to build confidence. Another key Stoic principle is courage. Speaking up for yourself often requires stepping out of your comfort zone. But as the Stoics remind us, true courage is doing what is right, even when it feels difficult. Over time, as you practice advocating for yourself, it will become more natural and you'll feel more empowered. Finally, remember that others' reactions are not within your control. If someone reacts negatively to you expressing your needs or standing up for your values, that's on them. What matters most is that you stay true to your principles and respect your boundaries. By learning to speak up, you align more closely with Stoic philosophy and begin to value yourself in a new way. You'll find that using your voice not only builds your self-worth, but also creates stronger, healthier relationships with others. Sign 9. You settle for less than you deserve. If you're constantly settling for less than you deserve, whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal goals, you're likely undervaluing yourself. Accepting situations that don't align with your values or make you unhappy reflects a belief that you aren't worthy of more. This mindset can leave you feeling stuck, dissatisfied, and powerless. Stoicism teaches us that true fulfillment comes from living in alignment with our values. One of the core Stoic principles is that external circumstances do not define our worth. Our actions and choices do. Stoic philosophers like Seneca emphasize the importance of knowing what you want and taking responsibility for your life. As he once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Settling for less than you deserve is one way of wasting that precious time. When you accept less, you're telling yourself that your needs and dreams aren't important. But Stoicism encourages us to live with intention, to make choices based on what aligns with our true values. If you're in a job that drains you, or a relationship that doesn't uplift you, you're not living according to these Stoic virtues. So how can you start applying Stoic philosophy to stop settling? First, identify your core values. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-reflection. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? Once you know your values, assess whether your current life circumstances align with them. If not, it's time to make changes, whether big or small, to realign your life with what you truly deserve. Another Stoic principle that can help is courage. It often takes courage to walk away from something that isn't right for you, especially when the future feels uncertain. But Stoicism teaches that we can't control what will happen next, only how we respond. Courage is about making choices that are hard but necessary for our growth and well-being. Finally, take small steps toward change. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start with manageable actions that align with your values, whether it's seeking a new job, setting boundaries in a relationship, or pursuing a long-neglected passion. Each step will help you stop settling and start valuing yourself more. Sign 10. You feel guilty for prioritizing yourself. Do you often feel guilty when you prioritize your own needs? This is a clear sign that you're undervaluing yourself. Many people think that putting themselves first is selfish, but that's far from the truth. Consistently neglecting your well-being can lead to burnout, frustration, and even resentment. According to Stoic philosophy, self-care is not a luxury, it's essential. The Stoics taught that to truly be of service to others, we must first take care of ourselves. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If you constantly feel guilty about taking time for yourself, you're not maintaining that inner balance that the Stoics believed in so strongly. Prioritizing yourself doesn't mean neglecting others. It means making sure your own needs are met so you can show up fully for the people you care about. The Stoics emphasize the importance of understanding what's within your control, and your well-being is one of those things. If you don't make time for your health, mental clarity, and personal growth, you're sacrificing your ability to be effective in all areas of your life. So how can you stop feeling guilty and start prioritizing yourself using Stoic principles? First, shift your mindset. Realize that caring for yourself is not a sign of weakness or selfishness. It's a responsibility. The more you take care of yourself, the more energy and clarity you'll have to serve others and pursue your goals. Next, schedule time for self-care. This could be physical exercise, reading, meditation, or simply time to rest. Whatever it is, view it as an investment in your well-being, not an indulgence. The Stoic philosophers taught the importance of discipline, and that taking time for yourself should be a disciplined part of your routine. Finally, let go of the need for external approval. Stoicism reminds us that we cannot control what others think of us, but we can control how we act. Don't feel guilty if others don't understand why you're taking time for yourself. What matters is that you're aligning your life with your values and practicing the self-care necessary to maintain your inner peace. By prioritizing yourself and applying these Stoic principles, you'll notice a shift in how you value yourself. You'll not only feel better, but also become a stronger, more grounded person in all areas of your life. Keep watching to discover the final sign that may reveal how Stoicism can help you recognize and build your true worth. Sign 11. You focus on perfectionism over progress. If you constantly feel like good enough is never truly good enough, you may be caught in the trap of perfectionism. Perfectionism can seem like a desire for excellence, but it often masks deeper issues of self-worth. The need for everything to be flawless can paralyze you from moving forward and lead to constant dissatisfaction. Stoic philosophy offers a healthier perspective, one that values progress over perfection. In Stoicism, the focus isn't on achieving perfection, but on striving for consistent improvement. As Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This means that instead of obsessing over unattainable standards, we should aim to improve ourselves daily, step by step. Stoicism teaches that what matters is the effort and the virtue behind it, not whether we achieve an impossible ideal. Perfectionism often stems from fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of not being enough. But Stoic principles remind us that failure is not something to be feared. Rather, it's a valuable part of growth. Every failure contains a lesson, and Stoic wisdom encourages us to embrace these moments as opportunities for learning. When you focus too much on perfection, you rob yourself of these chances to grow. So, how do you apply Stoic philosophy to break free from perfectionism? First, start by recognizing that perfection is not achievable, and that's okay. Stoicism teaches us that the only thing within our control is our effort and attitude, not the outcome. Instead of striving for perfect results, focus on making consistent progress. Celebrate the small wins along the way, as these are indicators of real growth. Next, cultivate self-compassion. Stoicism emphasizes accepting our flaws and understanding that we are all works in progress. By embracing imperfection, you allow yourself to move forward without the constant burden of needing everything to be flawless. Finally, reflect regularly. Use journaling or meditation to reflect on your daily efforts. Are you acting in line with your values? Are you improving, even in small ways? These reflections will help you stay grounded in Stoic principles, allowing you to appreciate the journey of self-improvement rather than fixating on perfection. We've now explored 11 Stoic signs you're undervaluing yourself. Each one is a reminder that your worth is not determined by external factors, but by how you live according to Stoic principles, with wisdom, courage, and integrity. By applying Stoic philosophy to your daily life, you can break free from self-doubt and embrace a more fulfilled, purposeful existence. If this video resonated with you, take a moment to like and subscribe. By doing so, you'll stay connected to more insights on Stoicism and practical tips for personal growth. Don't forget to share this video with anyone who could benefit from the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophers. Thank you for watching, and remember, true value comes from within. Continue living with purpose and apply these lessons to unlock your full potential.